Welcome back everyone to Showbiz India, and today it is indeed my pleasure to welcome a very special guest, Gingger Shankar. Welcome to Showbiz India, Los Angeles. It's great to see you as always.
It's great to see you as well.
So let's jump right into it. At such a young age, you've accomplished so much. Music obviously is a passion of yours. When did you find that that was the calling for you in life?
I think just being raised in a very musical family, I can't even tell you the point where it started. I just remember being a little kid singing at weddings, going to concerts. I think before I even knew I was a musician, I was one. Just also I went to music and dance boarding school, and just I was surrounded by it from a really early age.
So what do you think defines your moment where you think you finally arrived? I know you've had some major successes, but in your mind, when did you feel accomplished?
Oh my goodness. I don't feel accomplished yet, to be honest with you. I think every journey, you just want to do more and more and more. I think the craziest moment was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. I did an opera at Carnegie Hall, and it was one of those moments where you're like, your family tells you when you're at Carnegie Hall you've arrived, and then I actually flew that day after the show and did a show at the Pumpkins that night in Chicago. So it was like the craziest sort of opera to rock world, and I went, wow, this is really cool. And then I thought, wow, what can I do next? You know, so it's always what's coming next. Yeah.
So tell me, what was it like working with Mel Gibson? Of course, Passion of Christ, you co-composed. And it's such a beautiful soundtrack.
Thank you. It was really incredible. I think as an artist, he's one of the most dedicated artists I've ever met. When someone has a vision from beginning to end, I mean, he was there every day for the music, for post. He asks so much from everyone, but he also was there from morning till night.
So walk me through this, and for some of us who love music but don't know the process of it, for something like that, where do you derive the inspiration?
For films, I think a lot of it obviously comes from picture, and it's such a different medium than performing and being an artist. I love the movie aspect of it, because just being able to see picture and being inspired by a completely different medium, composing is a completely different thing, you know. So that film specifically, it came from the images, and being able to watch it and just developing a theme for Mary Magdalene, and the voice ended up becoming the theme, and just bringing it back, and it was an incredible experience, actually. Also,
another film of yours that was obviously very successful was Charlie Wilson's War. Different film. How was it different for you?
That actually, I met James Newton Howard, who was the composer on that film, during the Sundance Composers Lab in '07, and he actually had me come in and work on a cue for that, and it was so much fun, because it was so much fun to collaborate with an incredible composer like that, and getting free reign to kind of do whatever I wanted to do, and it was great, and that movie is so fantastic.
If I were to look in your iPod right now, what music would I find?
Oh my God, right now I'm listening to a lot of Kanye West, a lot of Tom York. I'm trying to think, I like LaRue a lot, I've been listening to them. I'm sort of in 80s land right now, because I'm working on a film that's using a lot of 80s music, so I'm listening to a lot of Joy Division and The Cure, and kind of going back in 80s land.
Tell me about the film you're working on.
So the new film I'm working on is called Styria, and it's based in Budapest, and it's sort of an ancient story, but it's based in the 80s, so I've been kind of immersing myself in 80s music and goth music and dark sort of orchestral music. It's been really great.
So what about you and your Indian side? India is being embraced all over the world. How much do you embrace yourself as an Indian, and how does that influence your work?
It's funny, because I was born here, I went back and forth, I went to school in India, and I find myself sort of back and forth so much, and I don't know if it's a hard question, actually, because it was funny when I was in Sundance and I got all these calls from Indian press, and the first question they asked me was, how come you're avoiding Bollywood, you know? And I was like, I've never been asked to be in Bollywood. So I've definitely felt so many of my friends are going there now and doing so much work, and there's so many incredible filmmakers coming from there. So it's something I want to be more involved with, I think.
So you would be totally open for Bollywood then?
Absolutely. Why not?
Well, and let me talk a little bit about your talent. I mean, you're talented in multifaceted ways, but you also play a very unique instrument called the double violin. Tell us a little bit about that, and how did that come about?
So the double violin is basically, it has 2 necks, and it covers the entire orchestra range. So it's violin, viola, bass, cello. And the reason it was created is so that I didn't have to carry a lot of instruments around. Everywhere you go and you're playing at festivals, and you have to mic the cello and you have to mic the viola, and so this has the entire orchestra range, and it has such a unique sound, so it's my favorite thing.
Wow, and is there any special training you went for that?
It was a very hard instrument to learn because I came from violin and that land, and it's completely different because it does have two necks, and it just, yeah, it required quite a bit of training.
So how many years have you been playing that?
I've been playing it for about 10 years now.
And all your fans can watch you. You have a show coming up very, very soon. Tell us a little bit about this show and the music of that film that's just being released.
So I'm super excited about the show. It's actually Circumstance, which is a film that came out and won Sundance last year. They're releasing the soundtrack on June 26th. So we're doing a show at the Largo in West Hollywood to celebrate the release of that. We're premiering some new songs. We're premiering some songs from the soundtrack. It's just really exciting, and I'm performing with some of my favorite people, Vivek Mandela, Doug Sanborn, Jazz Aluwalia, and then we have some special guests coming, so it's going to be a really, really fun night.
And everyone can come to the show?
Absolutely.
How do they come? Tell us.
I think it's just Largo Coronet Theater. I think it's online, so you can find it online. You can find it on my Facebook, Gingger Shankar. The info's everywhere, so it's going to be a really, really cool night.
So you're part of the Sundance Institute Alumni Board, which is a huge honor. Tell me, what does that feel like?
Oh my gosh, it was surreal to actually get that phone call. It's such an illustrious board. Mark Ruffalo, Lake Bell, Rashida Jones, all the guys that did these incredible movies, Sean Durkin, Josh Mond. I mean, it's a list of incredible artists. So basically we're out there representing the Institute and making videos for them and kind of being out there in the scene and talking about what Sundance meant to us. And for me, I went through the Sundance Composers Lab, and so many of the projects that I've had have come through them. So they're just such an incredible and nurturing environment for artists. So I'm so excited to represent them.
So Gingger, you are a very, very busy lady. You have an album coming up now. Tell us a little bit about the album.
It is called Beautiful Imperfections. We've been writing and writing and writing for it, so we go into production in July for the next few months, and we'll be having shows coinciding with that and premiering some of the new songs, so stay tuned for that. We're
Absolutely.
Really excited. Yeah.
Sounds good. And what else are you working on? You had some movie projects you said you could talk to us about?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually working on a film called Water and Power, which came out of the Sundance Labs by this incredible director named Richard Montoya, who's part of Culture Clash. And it's a great story about Los Angeles, and so we're starting to go into production in that as well for the music side of it. So I've been waiting for a long time for that film to happen, so I'm really excited, yeah.
So somebody who's so accomplished, I wonder who would be your inspirations growing up?
Oh my gosh, I would say my mother is my biggest inspiration, being a musician and a family person and being able to sort of balance all those things, so that's still something I'm trying to learn how to do.
Well, it was so good talking to you.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure seeing you. We wish you lots and lots of continued success.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Waiting on a tree.